Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Rhonda Farrell bringing you week 13 of Spotlight on Success. We have quite a journey thus far in first quarter of 2024, helping you get from vision to operationally scaling to maximize your organization's success. Today, we're going to talk about leveraging AI for competitive advantage. Much like we've talked about the people, process, technology triad, we've talked about harnessing your phenomenal leadership skills to scale. We've talked about ways that you can use an agile methodology. We've talked about different success stories of different entrepreneur types and really how melding them across will help you oftentimes scale further faster. We've talked about creating a values first organization, and we've talked about how to make sure you're undergirding your forward growth with readiness and harnessing innovation and disruption and creating a navigation for uncertainty when it arises. Well, guess what? Our topic today is really this culmination of all of these things. When we think about AI, it is the tool of visionaries. And not only that, it's going to help you operationalize your vision and your mission to allow you to scale further than you even thought possible. It's going to help you reduce potentially your uncertainty. It's going to help you capitalize on your efficiencies. And it's really going to help bring that people, process, technology triad together to help you further your organization's mission. So let's talk about what do we need to be thinking about when we want to leverage AI. Some of you are, it's still a concept out there in the ether. I'm not harnessing it. I'm not using it. I'm not integrating it. And others are like, I'm so far light years ahead of those. We'll just call them a little bit on the laggard side of AI to say, not only did we jump right in, we're helping to create some of the policies, some of the practices, or some of the technologies that people will ultimately be using to drive exponential efficiencies across their businesses, be that products, services, intellectual capital, thought leadership, different new ways of impacting our communities and our world than we haven't even thought of to date. And so the first thing is we need to go back to the basics, much like we've been talking about going back to the basics of leadership, go back to the basics of entrepreneurship, go back to the basics of a risk management, go back to the basics of balancing our portfolio for maximum effect and revenue, right? We want to go back to the basics to even understand what is AI, what are the capabilities, and how can I potentially leverage them? So a quick Google search will help you understand what are the different ways that organizations are applying AI and what is the technological components related to that, right? Because some are driven towards the collection of data, the analysis of data, the depth and agility and quickness of being able to respond to an answer. And others are more focused on how do I drive and create innovations around business, driving business efficiencies? How do I help them understand the data they have? How do I help them optimize processes? How do I bolt on an efficiency driver into a technology they may be using already, such as their Microsoft Outlook 365, their Google stack, etc. Right? So we want to help you understand what the AI capabilities are so that you can ascertain where you are on your AI build out journey, that continuum, and you can select what in an informed way what that next AI step looks like for you. But the first thing is being comfortable with the vernacular, the vocabulary, the short stack of AI technologies that you can implement. And then we want to understand how those can be applied to the challenges that you're experiencing, right? Are you more wanting to solve a particular problem that you're having in a particular industry? Are you wanting to automate tasks, or are you wanting to make more informed business decisions? AI can help with all of those, and the way that you can best serve yourself is by getting spun up on what's my top 3, top 5, top 10 AI innovations that will help me do X in my organization. The next is then how can you strategically insert them into your business operations? And so first, again, build that baseline of knowledge on what exists and what more so, what challenge or opportunity you want to harness them for. And then you can implement them on a pilot basis, of course, to ensure that you're getting the scale that you want across your business processes without unduly disrupting your organization and your operations. So I would suggest 1 to 3 places where you feel AI can add the most value across your organizations and your business processes, either to drive customer experience or optimize and improve your operations. Again, starting with the end in mind, is there something we can be doing from an annual compliance so that we ensure your business has continuity? If we have continuity across the legal, financial, risk, workforce, tax, etc. space, what then can we do to drive the greatest amount of revenues? Or what can we do to drive the greatest amount of cost savings? And so we look at those as two sides to the same coin, right? Driving revenues, saving costs, increasing our capabilities with regard to risk assessment, risk management, and then ensuring compliance of our organization long term. That's how we would prioritize and approach our use of AI. Then we want to look at what do we need to do to upskill or train out our teams, right? So it's easy to say, okay, we have these AI technologies. Here's how we want to leverage them. It's something else altogether for how we go about operationalizing those. Because so we have to have a team member, we have to have a contractor, we have to have a leader. You as the business leader or the CEO or as part of the C-suite needs to be willing to champion and be an advisor for how to adopt and how to skill up our workforce to be able to harness these technologies most effectively, right? So if that's bringing in a consultant, if that's bringing in a contractor, if that's bringing in a specialized person to help you, A, understand, B, strategize, C, implement, then go ahead and do that if that's within your budget and if that's going to help you drive greater ROI in the long term. But there are tools, tips, techniques free on the internet or paid if you want to go with a specialist in the AI field to help you figure out how to go further faster with these new technologies. And then we have to take 2 more components into consideration as we're rolling out AI within our organizations. One is this whole concept of ethical AI use and data security. We're seeing, not only from a White House perspective and a federal government perspective, but at the states level and internationally and locally, right? This whole desire to make sure that we're harnessing AI for good, that we're also protecting our our customers' privacy, our users' privacy, and therefore we have to practice good and strengthen data security. So when you're thinking about harnessing AI, know that undergirding that is a heightened focus on how we protect the data, how data is collected, how we protect it, how we utilize it, and then how we ensure that we're not inadvertently disclosing private information about our customers, our clients, our own organizations, and our users' organizations. So we need to be also spun up. So your legal team, your operations team, your cyber team, etc., your data team, if you have one, right, all need to really convene and agree on what's the best way to protect your organization from issues going forward in this very important aspect of your growth. And then we need to understand, how are we going to measure AI impact? So are we going to design a new set of key performance indicators, or are we going to tack on an AI component or element to those KPIs we've already created? Are we, if we have objectives and key results, are we going to tack on an AI component, or are we going to really use this AI innovation as a way to relook at what our KPIs, OKRs, metrics and measurements have been to date, and maybe use AI to understand how we can bolster those going forward, right? So it can be just as much as an enabler for how do we measure impact and ROI given the use of them. It can help you see if you have blind spots. It can help you project a way forward. It can come up with new metrics and measurements, OKRs and KPIs if you're not already there, right? So use it to full advantage to help you ascertain how you might look at these technologies differently and how you can harness them immediately to help you gain advances in this area. And then we want you to know, right, this is exactly like cyber quality, innovation, etc., right? We're going to take it step by step. We're going to need to set realistic expectations. We're going to need to pilot things. We're going to need to measure, and we're going to need to scorecard. Where are we with actual versus expected? Do we need to pivot? Do we want and need to invest more? Because yes, not only did we achieve our initial outcomes, we far exceeded those. So now let's go to exploitation, if you will, to our own business advantage. So again, this is Dr. Rhonda Farrell bringing you Leveraging AI for Competitive Advantage of a week 13 of Spotlight on Success for our business leaders and entrepreneurs around the globe. We hope that this has been of value to you, and please do not hesitate to reach out to us at CEO@globalinnovationstratllc.com if we can help you along your AI journey. Join us next week for week 14 for caveats, tips, techniques, and tools to help you go further faster.